Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, a Star Trek podcast. My name is Caitlin, and with me today are...
Jake.
Chris, barely.
Chris is kinda here.
Barely.
Ames is here. I'm Ames.
And welcome to episode 243.
Whoa.
Woo.
I'd like to start by saying that the news of my diarrhea was extremely exaggerated.
Well, now I have to keep that in.
Oh, darn. No, but I've returned from the dead. Maybe COVID? Everybody in my house has had COVID except me, confirmed, so, I assume it's COVID. But good news, listeners, you can't get COVID via the podcast. At least we don't think so. Maybe you can. Maybe that's why the 5G and the vaccine is important? Who knows? Anyway, enough about that. The reason why we're here today... What? I'm just
Chris is
kidding.
debating strongly how much he's going to be cutting this.
You can cut it all. I just start over.
No, this is fine. I'm just sleepy. Keep talking.
And we're here today for episode 243.
Woo!
And today we're going to discuss 2 episodes of Star Trek The Voyager, Projections and Elogium.
They say the Voyager now consistently, so I don't know why we were giving Tom any guff before.
Because it sounds dumb.
It sounds dumb.
It doesn't sound dumb. They say the Enterprise. Why don't we
but
say
that
the Voyager?
sounds- because the Enterprise also sounds dumb.
Oh.
I like it better without the
The
It's
spirit
like-
of St. Louis.
It's like it's like the COVID or the diabetes. You
The
just don't
name of
need
the
to.
show is Star Trek Voyager, not Star Trek
The Voyager. Exactly. It's not
The
Star
Next
Trek
Generation.
The Enterprise. Well, shh. The Star Trek.
The Deep Space Nine.
That's the one.
Well, because that wouldn't make any sense. That's a space station, not a ship.
Ah.
All right, anyway. Projections. Oh, man, Projections. This was actually a good episode, I thought. I liked it. So, the MH wakes up and he's been brought to wakefulness by fact that the ship's under red alert. And he scans the ship and everybody's gone. Where the fuck is everybody? The computer doesn't know. So he's looking around and he runs into B'Elanna, who, even though the computer told him there was nobody on the ship, B'Elanna is here. And she's like, hey, I came up with this great thing where I can project you in other parts of the ship. So that's going to be really convenient for this episode where you need to project to other parts of the ship. So first go help Janeway. And he gets projected down to Janeway, and Janeway's under a beam and he fixes her and she's fine. And then he's like, oh no, Neelix is in the mess hall and he's under attack. So, Janeway's like, well, it'll take me too fucking long to get there because all their systems are down. No transporting, no holivaders, nothing. No great glass elevators.
Mhm.
So he goes and he helps Neelix, who is fending off what are they called?
Kazon.
Yeah.
He's fending off a Kazon with some rotten tomatoes, I guess, and that seems to be working fine. And,
What rating did the Rotten Tomatoes give it?
I don't know what they did for this one, but I have my thoughts about the next episode, but we'll get there. What happens then? He's in the holodeck. He gets shot by the Kazon.
Right.
And Neelix is like, oh fuck, you're bleeding. And he's like, LOL, I can't bleed. I'm a projection. Or am I? And he goes back to sickbay and he is bleeding, and that's when Lieutenant Barclay shows up for some reason? The fuck
Broccoli.
what are you doing here, Broccoli? Ruining dinner, says Broccoli, just like every time.
I liked my broccoli.
No, I love broccoli
Add
actually,
cheese.
but I didn't used to. Anyway, yeah, cheddar makes everything better. Remember those ads?
Oh, yeah.
Those are great ads.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, they were. They were great. Cheddar made everything better.
I mean,
Aren't you paying
cheddar.
attention?
Cheddar's great.
Cheddar is great. And cotton is the fabric of our lives. Anyway. Broccoli shows up and he's like, no, you are actually Louis Zimmerman, the guy that created the EMH in his own image, except for his schlong, which he made way bigger, as we apparently have discussed previously. Anyway, no, you're not the EMH, you're actually Zimmerman, and there's an issue outside. There's been some radiation. You were running a simulation, we haven't been able to get through, and now the only way to get out of this simulation is you either have to finish the simulation or you have to destroy the warp core of Voyager.
And at what point do we save Vic from some gangsters?
Fucking Felix again. That his name, Felix?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? Fucking Felix, that meddling bitch. Anyway, no, trifling? I feel like bitches are trifling. He's a trifling bitch. Anyway, he's trying to convince the EMH really hard that he's a real dude and he should blow the fucking ship up. And the EMH is like, but I'm going to use all this logic and my usual sassy tone of voice and ask weird questions. He always does a really big raise at the end of things when he says stuff. I really like him. I like Picardo and I like the character. He does some weird shit with his voice. Anyway, then, just when he's about to blow the motherfucker up, Chakotay shows up and is like, no, wait, don't! And it's like, what? I thought you were all gone. And Chakotay is like, okay, you actually are in the holodeck, but you're not a real person. You're still the EMH and we're having issues. And, like, Kess shows up, but she's a human, and she's allegedly Zimmerman's wife. And I turned to Chris and said, I fucking told you he wanted to bone her. And I was right, and now there's fucking proof.
I hate it so much.
I love it. I love being right. Anyway, so then, I don't really remember what happens. They, like, save the day, but it's like a fucking Inception, because it's still fake, because he wakes up and he's surrounded by people and they're like, oh, thank God you're all right. And Kess is like, oh, you think I'm beautiful? And he's like, well, I didn't, I was under a lot of strain. And she's like, wait, you don't think I'm beautiful? You mean our marriage is over? And he's like, what the fuck? And then he wakes up again. I don't really remember how that happens. And this time it's actually real. He's actually still a hologram. He was on vacation in the holodeck for like 5 minutes. They hit some radiation. It fucked everything up. They couldn't get him out.
Still into Kess, though.
Yep, still into Kess. And she's totally cool with it. She's just like, don't tell Neelix.
That's the theme. That's the theme this week is don't tell Neelix.
Don't tell Neelix. Well, it's
Yeah.
actually the perfect bridge
Good
into the
title.
next episode, but we should talk about this one first.
Yeah, let's talk about
it's
this
actually
one.
a much better episode.
So, the first sign that everything was bullshit was that the Kazon caused them that much trouble. You're like, nope, no faction of the Kazon is this powerful. Nice
But all of them
try.
together, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was every single Kazon in the quadrant.
Mostly
Right, 'cause
Aaron
they-
Eisenberg.
Because they
Yeah.
blew away like half the ship, and then everyone abandoned ship. This is the conceit.
Yeah.
And they all get into escape pods, and then they tractored in the escape pods. So there are like 3 or 4 people left on the ship, allegedly.
Yeah.
And everybody else has
Least
been
useful
tractored.
escape pods.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I mean,
More
the
like
thing-
get fucking caught pods, am I right?
The thing about this episode, because it is good,
Yeah.
but there's no point during the episode where it's conceivable that he's actually Zimmerman.
Fair.
Yeah, no.
But you
See,
wonder,
right.
you keep wondering, like, okay, how are they going to prove otherwise?
Yeah, I guess.
What
I guess
arguments will Dwight Schultz have in that argument?
I
Probably
think-
just a bunch of shitty
Because
QAnon
for a while
ones,
you're
'cause
like,
that's
oh well,
his-
maybe it really is Zimmerman, but that doesn't make any sense because then the whole of the show is in Zimmerman's lab. You know, like
See,
It
what
sounded
could
like
have
some Enterprise bullshit.
Yeah.
made it work a little better was if there had been a line about you based the simulation off those letters the Romulans gave us.
Oh,
that that packet from last season did in fact make it. And then,
and make it so that it's not the
That it's-
simulation that Zimmerman is running. It's that Zimmerman created a simulation based on the letters.
yeah.
Whoa, you want the writers of this show to have actually seen this show? Whoa.
That's an interesting
Slow it
thought.
down.
But I feel like the letters wouldn't have been nearly detailed enough to, recreate the opening scene in Sick
well,
Bay,
I think maybe they also have a line, oh, and, Janeway's logs were there. We forgot to mention that earlier.
Mm.
Like,
They've
that would have
been recording the whole ship this entire time.
Yeah,
the only way this episode really works, though, is the only way that the simulation idea works for the audience is if the audience accepts that there is no Voyager, none of these people are real, and that the whole thing was just Zimmerman making an experiment about or playing a game of, what would happen if the EMH came to life and had to deal with the situation.
But then you see,
Listen,
there's
Bob
another
Newhart did
episode
it.
next week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, it's...
Yeah, if this was a cancellation, it would have been brilliant. But
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like Ames said, it really becomes less a question of, is this real, as like, how does he realize what's going on?
Mm.
yeah, it's like an episode of Columbo. You know who did it. You just have
Yeah.
to figure out how he's going to figure out who did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, how much will the Doctor be fooled until random-ass Chakotay wanders in?
Yeah.
Because they wanted to give Robert Beltran something to do for a goddamn change.
I was saying, it felt like they just kind of like must have rolled a die to figure out who'd walk in.
Like, Chakotay's usually useless. Let's have him help. Oh wait, no, he didn't actually help because it was a fake Chakotay.
And the other thing I'll admit...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh.
No, it's probably the same thing. Is that I got kind of lost by this point in the boxes within boxes within boxes. Like that first ending fake out, I was like, oh, good, episode's about over. I put down my notes. I started doing something else, and then looked up and realized there's a twist. There's an additional unnecessary twist.
So
why?
See, I was gonna say like mild spoilers for anyone that is actually new to Voyager, but I was slightly thrown because I know that we do eventually see Reg more in this show. So I was like, wait, he shows up this early? But no, he didn't.
So that wasn't even the showing up that you were talking about.
No.
Oh, thanks a lot. Spoilers.
As a real Reg. But this is interesting, though, right? That I think it's interesting that canonically, Barclay went off now to become a holodeck programmer because obviously he had aptitude for it.
And then came right back for First Contact.
Right.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
Because he's in First Contact, but just like Worf is randomly places where he shouldn't be in the TNG movies. So I'll allow it.
Okay. Mr. Worf, what are you doing here? Mr. Broccoli, what the fuck are you doing here?
Mostly making Zephram Cochrane feel weird. Yeah. Also, I noticed episode directed by Freaky Boy.
Yeah, always good to see him.
Fun.
Which is somewhat interesting because one thing that occurred to me in this episode is that it has a lot of similarities with Frame of Mind.
Indeed.
Which was a big Riker episode.
Yeah.
What's real? True. What's not real?
Yeah.
What's Barclay doing here?
Oh, is that the one where Jonathan Frakes was made to think he was losing his mind?
Yeah.
That's a great episode. He acted his fucking pants off in that.
He also, as Caitlin pointed out, he busted out the fisheye lens crazy.
Oh yeah, we saw.
Holy shit, we haven't seen this in a while.
We're in fisheye mode, bitches.
Things are getting real or not real. Ooh.
So do you think when creatures that are like actually fish monsters like want people to look crazy in their shows, thing go not fisheye? They go like nice and neatly square.
I like that Caitlin did the reel because I didn't realize that pun worked on multiple levels.
Didn't realize what I was getting
I didn't see you do that.
Yeah, I just started going like this for Ames.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was perfect.
All for Ames.
Yeah, so I also read that before they decided, obviously it should be Barclay, they were kicking around the idea of having it be LaForge, which also kind of works because he
was also a creep in the holodeck.
A little bit. Knows how to makes a sexy lady in the holodeck.
It should have been Vic Fontaine.
Oh my God, that would have been amazing. They didn't have time for a song though in this, and you know how Jimmy Darren wouldn't do it without a song.
This must have been before.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
because it's only season 2.
Yeah. No, he doesn't show up until
Yeah, this is also before we meet Louis Zimmerman in Deep Space Nine as well.
Right.
Oh, no
so
shit.
This actually establishes that Louis Zimmerman... So that's interesting because Louis Zimmerman could not be a real guy after this. Like, there's no evidence that Louis Zimmerman is actually the guy that created the EMH or that he looks like the EMH.
Well, Zimmerman, I mean, at the very least, the name could be real because he does seem to know who his
the name could be
creator
real,
is.
but the fact that he looks just like the Doctor is not really established until
this looks like me.
DS9.
Is this me? I love.
He's so good.
I did like
love
though
Picardo so much
when he like sees the pictures, like because he mentioned like apparently I sort of look like him, and then he sees the picture and he's like, oh, this guy's a narcissistic dick.
He's basically a sung.
Yeah.
Why didn't he give me hair?
Only all these extra dicks.
Yeah, I was gonna say he had to choose either huge schlong or hair. He couldn't do both. You knew
both would be a lie too big.
Here's the other thing, right? So, like, if this simulation is real, why would like, this would have been some logic that the Doctor could have used. It's like, wait a minute, if this is real, why did I model a character after my wife and then make her dating a different guy?
Yeah.
That's a good point. Cuckoldry fetish?
Maybe.
Certainly, he seems to potentially get off on pain.
Oh my god. This is not good without the visual, but I'm going to tell you the story anyway. There's the second time where he like slaps himself and he's like, pain. Why do I feel pain? And we're watching and Chris goes, and why do I have a boner? But the thing is, it's just as Chris was saying, and why do I have a boner? The EMH looks down, and he looks down because he's just discovered he's hungry. But for me, it was just Chris saying, and why do I have a boner? And then the EMH looks down as if he has a boner, but then he was just hungry. Anyway, this has been non-visual visual corner.
No, that worked. I did like the reaction to him being hungry, and I was wondering, what do you guys think he should have gotten to eat?
Mashed
broccoli,
potatoes and butter. With cheddar,
with soil.
Ooh.
I bet he'd like a nice charcuterie board.
Ooh.
He seems like the charcuterie board type.
I have so much trouble with fucking charcuterie boards because there's never enough of whatever the sauces are.
They put sauces on charcuterie boards?
Oh yeah,
like mustard.
Jam,
mustard.
Yeah, man, you bitches are fancy.
A little dollop of it. You know?
Yeah, there's never enough.
That's because you're missing out. You should take me with you. I'll just eat the meat as is, and then there'll be plenty of sauce because as a result, less meat. I'm a purist when it comes to charcuterie.
Yeah, I could never see him just chilling there with like fancy cheese and figs.
Ooh,
figs.
I want that. You don't like figs?
I think I'm all set.
How about in Newton form?
No, I actually hate fig Newtons.
I love
but they're fruit and cake.
Yeah, I don't like a fig Newton.
Oh, I think they're good.
Yeah, I do. I did say it, but I really like. I could have done without confirmation that the EMH is maybe kind of sort of into Cass. Like, come on, guys.
And that went to a weird place, and then she kind of starts acting like it, and then you realize, oh, this is still part of the hologram. What's happening? Yeah. And then it's a double twist. Oh, now it's the actual real her, but now she's playing a joke. It's like
yeah, but still
weird ending.
I just need he doesn't need to have any sort of like she's his student. Just leave it at that, for Christ's sakes. Men and women can be friends, Rick Berman, you dick.
Yeah, they can be friends, but they're not friends. It's he's the professor and she's the student, and she really wants to get an A.
It's gross, and
she'll
I hate
do
it.
anything to get an A.
Gross, and I hate it.
Whatever. I like it. I wish, you know what it is I've realized I really like the character of Kes, and the more I see of Neelix with Kes, the more I'm like, I fucking hate Neelix and Kes
them together makes no sense.
So I would love for Kes to be, even with the fucking doctor, anybody would be better than fucking
Kim, Paris,
Neelix.
Chakotay.
Another person is breathing next to my girlfriend.
Torres.
Fucking asshole.
I don't know. I just I'm leaning more and more towards Kim being Ace. I think he should have been, and that would have made a lot of sense.
I did love there was that very brief moment where the doctor learns that he could delete people. And he deletes Paris and Kim and was so pleased about it.
Especially Paris.
I like Paris. I don't know why people hate on Paris so much.
Oh no, I mean he's fine, but I understand that the doctor does not like him, so
he also appears to be Tom will definitely fuck your girl Paris, and I'm not really that into that.
It also, so the one thing that makes more sense in the simulation is that Tom Paris looks like Philip Locarno. Was it Philip? What was his name? Nick Locarno. I always want to call him Philip. Anyway, Nick Locarno, right? Because, if Barkley designed the Tom Paris character to be like his annoying cousin, and for the physical appearance, he just like found some douchebag in like the Enterprise records and was like, all right, this guy.
See, I'd said to Caden when he said I based it off my cousin Frank, I said, they should have made it his cousin Nick.
Yeah.
Actually, there you go.
Imply that Barkley's related to Locarno somehow.
There you go.
Oh, man. And then the EMH tries to delete Janeway, which just pisses her off and was perfect.
Yeah. Even Hollow Janeway can't just be deleted, unlike the one.
You've only angered her.
Yeah.
No, the very top of the episode, before we get into the let's introduce random-ass Barkley and let him do a thing, when it was just the EMH talking with the computer, and it was just, the Bob and Majel show, I was like, I would watch this show.
100%. Yeah, our Alexa was really into it too.
Oh no.
I, needless to say, muted her.
Probably like it took longer than it should have though. Like I feel
Yeah,
like we were like 15 minutes in and finally you were like, oh, geez.
It took 2 or 3 before she responded.
That's true.
Huh.
That's part of it.
Weird.
There's got to be a way that the Alexas can recognize when it's a Star Trek episode, though.
I was
You would
saying,
think that would have been the first thing that they would have done.
Yeah, you'd
In a
think the
way.
people are doing this because they're Star Trek fans. They're probably going to watch some Star Trek.
Right, that's what I mean.
They'd probably have to upload every single instance of anyone in the show ever saying computer.
All I gotta do is
There's
say,
a program
"Computer,
you can
upload
write
this
for that.
thing."
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, well, there you go.
Jake could do it right now.
Jake, do it. You'll save us all.
I know,
I won't.
I know Google once had to teach the Google Homes to not respond to a Burger King ad. Because there was this Burger King ad where they were like, ad space is expensive, so hey Google, and it like
Oh no.
directed you to the Wikipedia entry on the Whopper. That
Okay,
pissed Google
that's not
off.
that bad.
That pissed Google off though because they weren't consulted.
Right.
So they set it so that Google Homes wouldn't respond to it. But it backfired as well because before Google even put in the fix, people flooded the Whopper Wikipedia entry with vandalism. So like your Google Home would just start talking about how it's like made of like mold and rat feces and death.
Oh no.
What Google should have done is programmed it so that if it got the query from that ad, it would just be like, "Nice try, Burger King."
Oh yeah,
That
just go to a
would've been
custom
amazing.
page. Yeah, exactly.
Or
You didn't say the magic word.
eat at Wendy's instead.
Ooh, shots fired.
Yeah, no, Burger King probably should have. They probably would have made a deal with Google.
Oh, yeah,
honestly,
Google
that
totally
they
would have
could
been down
do
with
some
it.
kind of custom ad.
But no, instead they had
Google loves selling ads.
They do.
Hmm.
Anyway.
They don't like giving them away for free, though.
Yeah,
No,
speaking of burgers, I love how Neelix's fighting technique is food fight.
Yeah, that was pretty amusing. That was somewhat believable.
It
I
worked.
don't
It
know, I
worked
feel like
strangely
he would
well.
Well, because again, the K's on. Like,
I feel like he would just like attack. Like I still say that he's very cat-like. I feel like he would just pounce and bite at the neck.
Oh
I feel
my.
like that's how his actual attack would be.
So in this episode, in the inside the simulation, they're like, "Oh, we installed a bunch of holodeck equipment all over the ship." And I was wondering why that was necessary. Like, why couldn't he have just stayed in sick bay until
Then it would be a real bottle episode.
yeah.
Well, no, but once he realizes that he's
People.
human, so to speak.
Oh, when
Well, 'cause
like
he
Barkley
had to
comes.
sustain that
Yeah,
injury,
then like
though.
he's stuck there. Maybe the Kazon comes in and wants to fight him, and then he gets hurt, and that's when he's like, "Oh shit, how did I fucking get hurt? Oh my god!"
Well, I mean, it's, it is partly driven by him. And you can imagine there's maybe on some level part of him that does kind of wish he could bop around the ship more. And
I mean,
before
that's
it
the
goes
thing.
into full crazy town, it starts off for him a more believable explanation.
So I don't think it's that the EMH is controlling any of this, whether voluntarily or involuntarily. I thought it was just the holodeck malfunctioning.
It's like a feedback loop between him and the holodeck.
Okay, because
so...
one of the synopses I read of this was like it was just one of the EMH's hallucinations. And I'm like, I don't think that's the quite right word
That's
for
an
it,
oversimplification.
So here's my thought, right? I think he created a holodeck program of the Voyager so that he could so that he could like have a fantasy of like helping out during an emergency and like
going to the bridge
and fighting a
putting
Kazon
one in
and
Kess.
So like all those things are just part of his simulation that he created.
Maybe.
And
That's the
then
thing.
the malfunction is what made it so that he seemed to be human. Or maybe even in his simulation, he already was pretending to be human.
Yeah, that's the thing. They never do say what the holonovel was, so for all we know, he just turned on Beowulf to go bang Freya for a while. I hope not, though.
No, he's in the...
That's what they should have done. They should have had his wife be Freya instead of Cass.
That would have been a nice touch.
But they're not.
No, I think
from last season.
No.
Yeah, and I think giving the role to Cass someone whom he sees every day and
yeah,
the difference
obviously
between
lusts
assistant and
after.
wife.
Yeah.
There's a very nice moment that I wrote down when he's on the bridge, and there's this very, very specific thing that Janeway does that I thought was fucking a great touch, and that's that she sees the dead crewman and doesn't know that he's dead yet, sees him over there, and just her instinct is, I have to go to him. And it's the slightest move, and then the EMH tells it, like, just shakes her head, says, not that guy, and she's like sad, and it's like, without any dialogue, just just little cute movements express like just how Janeway cares about her crew and what she does as a captain. And I was like, damn, that worked.
It's a really great example of showing, not telling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was a really good showcase for the character.
Yeah, you get to slap Reg.
Yeah, I kind of got
I loved the look on Reg's face.
Because, we didn't see as much of him in the first season as I was expecting based on what I sort of remembered of the show. Like, I assume that, especially after this, they're gonna really be ramping him up more.
Mm.
And yes, the interactions with Barclay were pretty amusing.
Yeah, I also got a little hung up. So toward the end, the dilemma is, if you're real and you don't destroy the ship, the real human being you will die of this radiation thing.
Yep.
But if that's just Barclay lying and because the ship is doing it wrong, if you're actually the EMH and you're in here because the holodeck is malfunctioning, it could overwrite your program and then you'd be gone. And then the dilemma then is, okay, it's a matter of sit and wait and see if you're actually the EMH, or destroy the ship. I say you do the first one and you wait a little while, and then if that doesn't work, then you destroy the ship. It's not really a decision.
Mm.
One does not cancel out the other. You could do both.
Except that he didn't have a lot of time because he was theoretically only had like half an hour or something left before.
So wait half an hour.
Well, yeah, but wasn't that the thing? It was like, wait half an hour and that's going to kill you? Weren't they saying if you were in there for like another half hour, that would have been enough to like crystallize his something or other?
Yeah, I think like the issue was, no matter which was true, if he waited, he was going to either die or be deleted, because his memory circuits were getting fried somehow too. So like both the brain damage and the memory circuits frying were happening at the same rate or something.
See, I feel like because sit and wait is not the opposite of destroy the ship, I think it should have been something more like you could either have to destroy the ship or shoot Barclay. Or something like that. Something that actually felt like you could only do one and not the other.
Well,
yeah, or like,
but you thought that was the case because there was a radiation leak in, what Barclay was saying was that there was a radiation leak. So he couldn't just wait. He had to destroy the ship because that would end this, the supposed simulation.
But for how long? That's my question, I think.
What do you mean for how long? Like, I think the alternative was that he was already in the process of dying and the radiation would kill him imminently.
Oh, imminently. I didn't realize.
That I thought was the half hour.
Yeah,
if we don't get you out of here within half an hour, it's going to fry your brain.
Yeah, in Barclay's version of events, there was an active radiation leak.
Yeah,
that was in the process of killing Zimmerman.
Hmm.
But the only way to get out of Zimmerman's holodeck, which turned out not to be real, was to shut down the simulation, which would end either if Voyager reached home or if the ship got destroyed.
It's when you tell Barclay to rewrite the program so Voyager reaches home.
Sorry, this goes back to what we were joking about earlier, and again, it's actually too early in Voyager and DS9 and all that, but what if Felix looks like Vic Fontaine, or vice versa, rather?
That works. No, that's canon now. People only make characters that look like themselves.
That's why there was a physical Vic Fontaine in the Mirror Universe.
There it is! And he just calls himself Vic Fontaine sometimes.
For some reason, yeah.
Because he's a fetishist.
Or something.
Felix.
Bada bing.
Well, we don't know what Felix's last name is. It could be Fontaine, and maybe his middle name is...
Vic.
Felix V. Fontaine, yeah.
And he goes by Vic.
He wanted to be a singer. It never really took off. That's why
it's his lounge singer name.
Yeah. There we go. I have solved the Mirror Universe.
This possibility. I feel like we discussed this possibility when we talked about that episode.
I think a little bit, but now it actually sounds real.
No, I think at the time I said he should have been an android. Just to fuck with everyone. Like, he's still artificial, but in a different way. Anything else about this one?
Yeah, I think the only other thing is, like, there was a moment when they were considering Dwight Schultz for the role of the EMH in casting, which I think would be weird because he was a major role on TNG. And
that would have been very strange, unless the conceit was that Barclay created the EMH.
Yeah, I think that would have to have been the idea.
There's no way to, like, fake, like, oh, he's just a different person, like Nick Locarno.
Especially with fucking other Bob. One of the which Robert is he?
What Picardo? What are we talking about?
Tom Paris is also a Robert, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Duncan
yeah.
McNeil.
Duncan McNeil.
Yeah.
I also finally read, because I know we asked this in one of our first episodes. Doctor is Bob, Chakotay is Robert, McNeil is Robbie.
Oh, they did end up okay. They came up with a system.
Yep.
Okay, there we go.
Too many Roberts.
Good old Bob, Robin, Robbie. Rockin' Robin. Is that it? Are we ready to move on to the next?
Oh my god, if we have to.
Generation?
Make it
question
quick.
Mark?
Yeah, let's just...
Okay, in Elogium, there are some space paramecium that are fucking everything up outside with some kind of weird electromagnetic something or other field. And Kes goes through puberty, maybe. This basically leads to a big discussion about whether or not Neelix is ready to be a father. Spoiler, no. And whether or not Kes is ready to be a mother. Spoiler, no. And whether or not the ship should do submissive mating dances when attacked by weird space parameciums.
Yes.
The end. Yes, spoiler, yes.
This episode was
Brought to you by
TNG
Trojan.
Season 1 bad.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah, this was pretty rough.
This was abysmal. I looked it up. I was like, there was no way a woman wrote this episode.
Oh, she did.
So, yeah, no, that horrified me. But
Yep.
apparently, the story was by 2 men. The teleplay was by 1 man and 1 woman. So there were still more men than women involved, which explains, I think, at least some of it.
The more uncomfortable part, so I know we've talked about Biller, I've forgotten his first name already, one of the writer who's also worked on a couple other things we've discussed before. He mostly worked on the ship versus the sperm story. And Jerry Taylor, the woman writer, worked on the Kes story, which
Jesus
just
Christ,
seems
Jerry.
wrong because she represents this situation in every weird and unnecessary and unnatural and biologically impossible way.
Yeah, no, I despised this episode. Everything about it was horrible.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
Like, whenever, because I know at the end of every season we're going to do a top and bottom list, there's always some episode that at some point either really blows my socks off or really horrifies me and makes me go, well, time to start the list. Started this season's list.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
so go ahead, Chris.
If this isn't on my worst of list at the end of this season, then, well, I'll be fucking shocked because I can't imagine
Anything worse than this?
Yeah, because I don't hate Threshold, so we'll see. That's this
Threshold
season.
This season?
That's this season.
Oh man.
Yeah. So beyond just talking about how much we disliked it, let's just talk about it as well.
Let's do that.
Ocampa biology is gross.
So they have a Ponfar.
Yep.
At after they're normally when they're 4 or 5 years old, and it's the only time that they can have kids. I presume they must give birth to litters then, because there's no way that species is surviving if women can only have 1 child in their life.
But Kes keeps referring to it as a child.
I know, which is weird. It's but there's no way, because
there'd be no people
would die
left.
off.
Yeah.
No, you're right, because you'd only have 1 for every 2.
Yeah.
Well, unless... Do all of her people die young, or just the women?
I believe all.
I think all.
Yeah, they've never...
Because I was thinking the thing that, like, annoyed me, or the thing that I was considering at this was, like, Neelix is taking it really personally, but he also knows somewhere deep inside of himself that, like, 8 years from now she's going to be gone, and if he wants to have babies, he'll be able to do that pretty much in his own time.
I never
Anytime.
thought of that, but yeah.
I mean, for that matter, if he had a child with Kes, it would be grown up. You don't... In a year. Like, you don't have to deal with it for very long.
Well, but that's...
He wants it to look just like her.
What species does it take after? Like, what happens if a species that ages one way.
That's a
mates
good
with hers.
point. That's a good point.
Like, does it split the difference? Like, well, his species makes it to about 100, hers makes it to 9. It's 57.
Yeah, bringing it back to the... Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, bringing it back to the... How do their species still exist if they have one chance to have children in their lifetime? Biller mentioned as a really, really thin workaround. Maybe the men can have kids too.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, sure. You know what?
Why not?
But then that's still just literally replacing. So they're never going to
there
grow
wouldn't be growth. Yeah.
No.
But, and again, too, like, they would have to all, absolutely everyone would have to...
Yeah, have a kid.
But that would explain why the urge for her was so strong. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
if
also
they require...
hormones.
If they... Well, yeah, but I mean, like, you know, in human beings, it's a little easier for us to not give into that urge. And I wonder if that's because, you know, we're able to have millions of children at a time if we really... Or one woman and one man can have loads of kids, is what I'm saying. If her species can only has, like, 2 chances per couple to have babies, and it's each time once when the woman can do it and once when the dude can do it, then their drive would have to be really fucking strong, because if anyone ever doesn't do it, then they've lost a part of their population forever.
Yeah, they sound like mayflies in this instance, where it's like must create more offspring, and that's just going to be the cycle of when then they're going to hit their pond far and they're going to create the offspring. And instead of it being a choice, and I think the whole debate of this episode is how much are they letting this be a choice versus just part of your necessary biology.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it that way, there are some interesting themes. They handle them all poorly to abysmally.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. There could be some... There could have been an interesting discussion here, but it was just...
I was also
so mishandled.
So lost in just, you know, they have to mate for 6 days whilst their hands are stuck together with weird goo.
Like,
and the baby grows out of the back. And what the actual fuck?
I mean, I don't think that... I mean, that's not terrible. You know, if, you know, different species are going to have different ways of mating. So, I'll accept that, you know.
I don't.
6 days with goo hands? No.
Yeah, the goo hands are weird, but...
The foot massage to make your tongue puff up?
Well,
yeah.
maybe it's okay, she can't ovulate unless their hands are together for 6 days. Maybe it's
do they even ovulate?
Maybe her body is made up of bladders and not bones. We don't know.
I was just about to say, maybe it's like with Kif, where genetic material passes through the skin. You don't even need, like, traditional, you know? It's like... her body is supported... It doesn't make
any sense how, like, because how is she compatible with Neelix?
They both got skin.
Well,
but does Neelix have to, like, jizz on his hands first, or like?
Yes.
No, she just picks up flakes from his skin, like Kiffin.
So this is like the most unsatisfying copulation imaginable from Neelix's perspective.
Oh yeah, totally.
And Kess's.
like, because his hands, both of their hands are occupied, so there's no possibility of any kind of hanky panky.
No reach around.
No thumb up the ass.
You can motorboat, and that's it.
That's basically it.
Can I also just, like, from my perspective, too, is, like, this episode, we got this piece of Neelix that I fucking hate, which is his, like, disgusting jealousy piece.
Oh, yeah,
and they decide that they're gonna have a baby right after one of these episodes where he literally is, like, bringing flowers and apologizing. I would be like, if it were me and I was Kess, I'd be like, I'm rethinking all this shit. I definitely don't want to be tied to this man for the rest of my life and have his fucking baby.
But it's her only fucking chance. Unless she asks Paris.
Or the EMH.
She can adopt, not shop. It'll be fine.
No, the EMH is now a dad figure, which we've now established, because he had to fill in for her father as the foot massager.
That was weird and wrong.
I'm sorry, I missed that. The father massages the feet?
You missed that? Oh, God.
No. One of the parents massages the feet, but while he was massaging her feet, she mentioned that while this was happening, she should have also been doing this other thing where her dad offers advice. So it was a
I thought she said normally the father would be massaging my feet. Giving me advice.
One of her parents can do the feet.
Okay,
either way, would be her dad specifically would be giving advice.
Dad or mom, I do not need a parent involved in
getting you all
my
turned
procreation act, regardless which one it is.
Well, that's because it's a different system.
I hate this
So
fucking
it seems to so here's the thing.
so much.
It seems to me that the Okampa reproduction is much more akin to like a budding than it is to like having sex.
I think I need to think of it that way
like
to not
you're
vomit.
thinking of it like, okay, this is gross sex stuff, and you don't want your parents involved in that, obviously. Whereas with them, it's just part of the thing that they do. When the females start to bud, a man needs to come up and put his
hands against.
Oh, like Vilix Prance people. Remember him, the guy who budded?
Yeah, he was always budding, but he gave birth to lots of children.
So many.
Versus this one, which apparently is only one. And like, if you're an Okampa, you better not die before you reach, pawn faring age.
Seriously.
Because then the population is going to decrease by one permanently.
Oh no, I bet Lower Decks is going to have a budding guy eventually.
Unless it's like, maybe it's usually only one, but sometimes there's more than one, and that's how the population grows. I don't know.
Maybe here's the women only give birth to one, the men have litters.
There it is.
Yeah.
They just go around with lumpy backs, and then one day a bunch of kids just pop off.
Do you think Okampa porn is just like pictures of hunchback women?
I mean,
wow.
What?
You say
no,
that
it's
like
pictures of their hands covered in pollen.
You
apparently.
say that
better.
like human porn isn't like that. What have you been watching?
It's just like, oh man, she's got a big one on her back. Oh, she's ready. She's ready to do the.
This is every kind of
sticky
wrong.
handshake.
The sticky
handshake. Oh no. Oh, I hate it. Thanks, Jake.
But yeah, to what Caitlin was saying, though, I do kind of hate this, like, occasionally we decide Neelix has a really nasty jealous streak thing. Because, like, otherwise, they've actually done a pretty good job of making him an interesting character.
Yeah.
And this is like, I don't know, it's something I don't feel like is necessary. It's weird, it's unpleasant.
And also, it feels like a fucking projection of himself. Like, honestly, he's like, oh yeah, but I've seen the way he looks at you, and like, men can't be trusted, and he's preying on the innocent. What the fuck are you doing, Neelix? How many decades older are you than Kess?
Well, not just that. Like, now we've established, because previously you're like, oh, well, even because her species only lives to 9, the fact that she's not 2 yet that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, now we know she's prepubescent.
Yeah, now we know that she's prepubescent.
True.
So it brings it back into that creepy territory.
Hey, Ames, I'll take that apology anytime.
I'm not going to apologize. No, I'm going to state, here's my statement.
I'm just kidding, but go
ahead.
That
there's a difference between being sexually mature and being intellectually mature.
Yeah, but usually sexually mature comes way before
She's an alien.
Yeah, everything about the Okampa is horrifying.
Yeah, I mean, the decisions made by the writers are bad. The decisions made by Neelix are just specific to his situation.
Oh, I know.
The writers, however, have done everything they could to make this absolutely absurd. The one credit I do give them is they made it very, very explicit that they have not yet had sex. Because they're like, I want to start mating with you now, and Neelix is like, no, that's new. Neat. Thank you.
Oh, they're the ace couple. You thought it was Harry,
stuff.
but
yeah, they can motorboat, but yeah, they haven't done this yet because it would have been weird, and also because it adds to drama. I don't know what I read some weird paragraph on their decision to make that the case, and it was uncomfortable because, of course, it is.
Yeah. So normally Okampa get this at 4 or 5, but she's getting it. She's not even 2 yet.
Mm-hmm.
Seems. I mean, I think that there is such a condition that can happen with humans as well. That's similar to that, where it's just like you enter puberty extremely young.
Mm-hmm.
Well, didn't they imply it was because of the space bug radiation?
Yeah. The hormones of the sperms were doing something.
Maybe she'll go through it again.
Exactly. The EMH, they actually made that explicit during the episode that
I might have zoned out on that.
The EMH
probably wise.
Suggested that potentially, since it may have been a false start, she might go through it again someday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, good, then we might be able to have kids when we're actually ready instead of when it's forced upon us in 50 hours.
We won't have to start a reality show 16 months and pregnant.
Oh boy, that's good, Jake.
Jake did it. Jake
I made
found
that
it.
joke. I made that joke yesterday, and I wanted to work it in.
It's
You did.
good. I liked it.
I love it. That's what we're going to call this episode.
And we're a generation ship now, apparently.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
very funny because Chakotay and Janeway argue about whether or not the rest of the crew should bang.
And meanwhile, they clearly want to bang, or at least she wants to bang him, or something's going on, because there was a bit in the bridge, like after they did the fake submissive spaceship trick, where she's like, "Ooh, Chakotay, you can really do." I can't remember.
You're really good at being submissive.
I don't know. There was I don't remember what the line was. But there's something that she said that was fairly suggestive, and like he like kind of like giggled a little bit.
Oh yeah, it was like, next time I need advice on.
Mating rituals
on mating
or-
rituals.
Yeah.
I'll next time I need advice on mating rituals, get in my fucking ready room.
I can't remember
Ready?
if the show tries to make them a thing, but I hope not. It's just.
I mean, I
don't
feel
know.
like I've read, because I don't remember, because I don't feel like they do a ton with Chakotay's character, which is sad. But I feel like people on the internet are constantly saying that there's the sexual tension just all the time.
Yeah.
I don't even really feel like Chakotay's character is capable of sexual tension.
No, we know he fucked Seska.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
didn't believe that.
Oh.
Like,
She
I don't
fucked
know.
him.
Yeah, that's with a strap on, probably.
Oh my. We get a new character, a new recurring character this week in
Ensign Prego.
Ensign Prego Wildman. Who apparently her husband is on Deep Space Nine. We've never
Sorry,
met, but-
the Deep Space Nine.
Oh
The
my
Deep Space
god.
Nine.
Is it Bashir?
Oh god, I hope not. As Caitlin pointed out, she and Janeway apparently go to the same barber.
Oh yeah, they had the same hair.
Which I realized, seeing it on her, since she's blonde, made me think that it might just be like one of the standard Starfleet female haircuts, because it's very similar to the haircut that I think Shelby had. I think Nechayev like girl on the
On Red
Valiant
Squad.
had a haircut kind of like that too. So it might just be like, maybe one of the approved hairstyles that
Yeah,
you can have
it's a
as an
bob
officer.
that keeps your hair out of your face. That's what you want if you got long hair.
Yeah.
Also,
But
I
no-
assume if there is a barber on Voyager, which we haven't,
There's a
established.
Bolian, so
That's right. Then yeah, they
Racist,
probably,
sorry.
because there's probably not two barbers on Voyager, so they probably do have the same barber.
Maybe there's an EBH.
Maybe.
Oh,
actually,
honey, this is a fashion emergency.
well, since barbers used to be surgeons in olden times,
there we go.
Oh my
maybe
God.
surgeons in the future are also barbers.
I thought it was dentists, but we've discussed this, and I want to get
We
back
have.
to.
Yeah,
How
I
does
want to
that
get back
keep
to
happening?
Wildman. I don't.
Yes,
know.
Wildman.
Yeah, so Samantha Wildman, this ensign in xenobiology, which is cute because we meet new animals because Janeway loves animals. And we meet her, and she learns she must be, because last week we learned they've been out in the Delta Quadrant for 6 months,
Yep.
and she learns she's got to be at least 6 months pregnant. And I know in the future they're going to correct this and say it's because her husband is a Katarian, and that's how Katarians do.
Okay.
How do Katarians
Yeah, because she
do?
doesn't actually have the baby until much later this season, if I recall. I think it's this season. Yeah. So it won't be for a while that she'll actually have the kid.
It's pretty bad that we're like 3 episodes into the second season and they already need to introduce babies.
Yeah, I read that Jerry Taylor, because this was originally going to be in season 1. This is one of those holdovers from season 1 after when they cut the season very short.
Oh, right.
And Jerry Taylor thought it would have been a good way to end the season, learning one of the crew people is pregnant. And I'm like, wow.
But it's not somebody we
Weird.
know or care about yet, so
It's like we've jumped the shark already.
Mm.
wait till
Yep.
they introduce the Borg babies.
With their little hats.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but let's talk a little bit about the space critters outside the ship, because that was where the story pitch writers, including Jimmy Diggs, who is a Navy person. What do you call people in the Navy? Seaman?
Seaman.
So, officer, yeah, a naval officer. Seaman is perfect because he pitched this story based on an anecdote when he was spending time on a ship at night, and they were, cleaning the ship at night, and they put on these spotlights because it was dark, and tons of sea life just started following the ship, and he says it was like such an eerie and interesting experience, and that's where the inspiration for that part of the episode came from. And he sold this episode on this gag-inducing line, "Captain, I believe that we've lost our sex appeal," which Tuvok says, and which Ames detests.
I felt so bad for Tim Russ in that moment.
Not me. He's got 4 kids. He bangs.
No, I mean,
true.
but the
actor
had to deliver that fucking line.
Yeah, but he did it beautifully.
He did.
Because he does everything beautifully.
But, god damn.
So with that whole plot, though, part of me throughout this episode was imagining that, that meme where it's like, there's one person like, "Hey, can I copy your homework?" And the other person's like, "Yeah, but don't make it too obvious." And then it's that meme, but the last frame of it is Galaxy's Child. The one where the space alien monster...
where we soured Mommy's milk or whatever, right?
The milk.
Yep.
With Leah Brahms.
Yep.
Geordi.
Yep.
Yeah, and that episode also has a lot of weird
holodeck
sex stuff with Leia.
Yep. Yeah, it's just, like, when I first was like, it's like Space Krill, and no, it wasn't Krill. I don't know what it was.
I said they looked like sperm. That's what I said right off the bat.
From a distance, they were sperm. Closer up, they were CG things. But any of the times, there was just a big shot of a whole lot of them at a distance. Sperms.
Well,
like microscopic spermies?
Yep.
I knew it.
I was
Caitlin knows her sperm.
And maybe they said this, but
Gross.
So the idea was that the little ones were the males and the big ones were the females, and the big female one thought that the Voyager was
another
rival.
big female, a competing
rival.
Big female.
Yeah.
I feel like the writers think the big ones are males, but I feel like it's more realistic if they're females. Like an anglerfish,
too.
Yeah.
or a bee or something,
or literally anything really, and yeah.
Yeah, I zoned out so much that a lot of the finer point. It was such a.
They were, I think, suggesting that the big one was a dude, but I think that's wrong.
But yeah, you're right, Ames, because in nature, like you said, the anglerfish is a good example.
There's no way a giant one could impregnate a bunch of little ones,
or
unless it's just a matter of spewing sperm everywhere. I don't know how these things work.
We don't know how they mate.
Even if you're taking it from that sperm shot at the beginning, that's how it is. It's billions of sperm trying to break into.
We call that the money shot.
Oh, sorry, the bukkake at the beginning.
Oh.
But what I'm saying is like you've got a bajillion little tiny sperms trying to get through this one egg, and that's like they were almost there, but then they were like, nope, that's the male, and it's like, wait.
Oh, they did it wrong.
You don't know how sperms work. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Why are all the little ones trying to mount Voyager?
Mount Voyager. That sounds like a nice place. Bet the view is great.
Voyager smells like sex stuff.
It smells like coffee, and that's what those things are attracted to. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it would definitely work on Janeway.
All right, I'm sick of talking about this episode. Ames, what's our activity?
Oh, cool. You're good for the activity, Chris, or do you need a break?
No, I'm good. Fuck it.
Great.
Right.
We're plowing forward because this week we've got a hell of an activity planned. Oh fuck! I gotta share my screen with the jerks. Hang on.
With
hitting
the jerks.
all of the buttons.
This just seems rude, Ames.
Ooh, look at this illustration.
Yeah, so what I have here and what you're going to see on our Tumblr, I hope you're all following along with the Tumblr as we do this, because it makes more sense. But also, it's super fun, and what I've done this week is collect all the different duty uniforms. And I'm going to throw a big disclaimer on the top of this, because there's too many fucking uniforms in this goddamn show that I'm trying to keep it contained to just the duty uniforms, not the fucking, let's go on an away mission uniform. We're going to talk about dress and admiral uniforms another week. We're not going to talk about medical scrubs and evac suits and all this shit.
What about Shatner's Fat Day tunic?
No, because no one else, it's not uniform if no one else gets to wear it. So we're going to start here. We're looking at the uniforms that we see in the two pilots, in the cage and in Where No Man Has Gone Before. It's literally a sweatery thing and some pants.
And it's only brown and blue.
The girls are wearing cowl necks.
I do love the cowl necks. I'd love me a good cowl neck.
I like cowl necks a lot too, actually.
Yeah, but the men look like they've literally just picked any sweater out of their drawer.
It also kind of looks like in that picture of Kirk and Scotty, it kind of looks like they're wearing the shirts backwards.
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
you're right. It does.
Like the cut doesn't look quite right around the neck.
What's interesting though with Kirk's shirt, you can see it is more green.
Yeah.
Which was something that was lost when they went over to TOS, and the color correction made them look yellow, which is why it became Command Yellow.
Gold,
either way.
Yeah, and I'll point out.
Gold.
Yeah, I'll point out on these uniforms because we're going to see it in TOS as well. But I'll bring it up now. Is I think so. The way we know each other's ranks in TOS and in these two episodes, obviously, is the gold bands on the sleeve and how many bands you've got, and whether they're ziggy zags or whether they're dashed or whether they're whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I always thought that looked janky as fuck because shiny gold ribbon around really obviously cotton sleeve clashes like whoa.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I assume that the sleeve thing comes from naval uniforms.
Yeah, but naval people don't just wear a sweater.
Yeah, well, they also have epaulets with the stripes on them as well.
Yeah, I think the sleeve
on the collar.
I love epaulets. They should have kept the epaulets.
The sleeve
I love
thing
epaulets.
The sleeve thing is just when they're in full dress, and so they're wearing a suit jacket. When they're in more casual stuff, yeah, it's either on the collar or on the shoulders.
Yeah, something else to note, and you'll see this in the rest of TOS as well, is they do these kind of short pants that flare out a little bit, mid-shin.
Yeah.
Which it's so TOS. I don't think I see these kinds of pants anywhere else, so I give them a little credit that they're very distinct. Yeah. I have no idea how fashionable it is, because I know the actors thought it was kind of silly, but I like it.
They're like boot-cut capris.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and the boots are pretty sick, too.
Yeah, I like the boots. I actually secretly love the flary pants and the boots.
Dude, me too.
I guess it's not a secret anymore. I've just told you.
Yeah. But in the cage and Where No Man Has Gone Before, Christ, Jesus. I also do hate the color palette because it's so weird.
It's a bit drab.
Yeah.
The interesting thing I'm noticing, so I can't remember the character's name.
Colt.
The Colt, is that her name? The redhead.
This chick,
yeah. I'm noticing that her uniform. It looks like it's 3 panels there on the front.
No, it's just darted.
Yeah, it's got
darted.
Oh,
it's just darted. Oh, okay.
It's darted to tall tits.
Okay, all right. That
put
works.
the tits here.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, I'm going to move forward. And what I've done for most of these slides that you'll see is I grabbed the characters out of Star Trek Timelines, which I'm still playing and is still fun. I've collected
you've been playing for
tons
years.
of people. I know.
I love that.
But I'm picking them out of Timelines specifically because it's way easier to get a full-length shot.
Yep. What's interesting is the variety of women's uniforms, which was not obvious to me until this.
What's the variety?
Well, you've got Nurse Chapel's, which has the weird side darting. There's Pulaski's, which has a big scoop neck, and then Uhura's, which has a less scoopy
that's
neck.
not Pulaski, but yes, I understand.
Yeah, I can't. Diana Muldaur.
Diana Muldaur's character.
Thank you. I couldn't think of her real name.
I can't remember that character's name either, because that's not the one that was friends with
the Medusan. That was a different character.
Ago.
Yeah, I'm not going to remember it off the top of my head, but yeah.
And also, Uhura's appears to be the shortest.
Yeah, that's the thing that I can't stand about the TOS uniforms is just how short the skirts are.
I don't know how how we never saw Cheek with.
We saw diaper butts. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was basically a full leotard under the skirt. It seemed they basically took the Sailor Moon approach.
Oh, okay.
Well, Sailor Moon came much later, but yes.
So Sailor Moon took the Star Trek approach.
Yes.
Correct. I like that. I like that Bones appears to have a mint julep.
Yep, I did that a little on purpose.
Nice.
Oh, did you?
And that appears.
There were
to
a
be
lot of
Chekhov.
bones to choose from.
That's Chekhov dancing during the Harry Mudd episode, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. better palette, the gold, the bright red. I remember hearing once that part of the reason they added the red railing and some extra color to the bridge after the initial pilots was because, the studio was like, hey, color TV's becoming a thing. Brighten things up a little. I don't know if that rule also applied to the uniforms, but...
I bet it does.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe it made things a little more vibrant, because that is
it's
the one
also easier to tell the difference between the gold and that tan, because the tan just blended in with nothing.
Yeah.
Look how happy Scotty looks.
But yeah, otherwise, I do think the sweaters are still just sweaters. That's the thing. Well, I'm going to look at a lot of these slides and just how... Would you call these uniforms, or are they just clothes that everyone decided to wear?
Well, these are
uniform...
more than just...
Go ahead, Jake.
I was going to say, these are more than just sweater, because these ones have, the black collar.
Yeah, I like the black collar.
The sleeve stripes.
They all seem to be wearing them the right way round.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, a uniform, I feel like the idea of a uniform is, it's really loose, right? As long as everyone is sort of wearing the same thing, it's a uniform.
I don't know. I also feel like they're not as practical, and I'm gonna give a lot of the uniforms that we're gonna look at guff, because for some reason the show did not believe in pockets, and fuck them.
Probably has to do with just lines and stuff.
Yeah,
it's
true.
what?
A pocket does
that kind of lines,
yeah,
not dialogue.
No.
Yeah, no.
Pockets fuck everything up.
I mean, what do you need a pocket for, though? There's no money.
They're constantly carrying shit.
Yeah, but you get you can put your you got a holster for your gun, you got a shoulder strap for your tricorder.
Yeah,
but if you're on a away mission,
but what if you want some mints?
Yeah, if you're on a mission somewhere and they're collecting stuff, and then you just have to carry it around, makes no sense to me. I'm gonna move on.
Well, you always have nature's pocket.
No,
your asshole.
Oh no.
Oh, Chris's favorites. We're going to talk about the motion picture uniforms.
Is that Chekhov?
Yeah.
That is Chekhov.
He looks dapper in that thing. He looks good.
Yeah, you've actually managed to mostly find pictures of the not horrible jumpsuit ones.
Which one? This one? The Rand one?
Yeah, that's the one that's the worst. And that's the one you see.
They don't have a ton of these on timelines.
Yeah, because they're fucking terrible.
They're awful.
Man, Uhura looks like a fucking queen. Look at her sweet-ass hair. Woo! Yes, girl.
Yeah, we're back to the Cage style blue or drab gray. I mean tan, except for medical staff who get white. Oh my god, they're so bad. They look like they're made of pajama material. These are the most pajama looking of any Star Trek costume.
Yeah, I like them better when they have, because we kind of see Chekhov with an actual belt instead of just the little doodad on the belly that was supposed to be like a medical scanner or something. But I think without belt just looks incredibly silly.
Well, and also just the fact that the shirt and the trousers are the same exact color. It's
that's why Uhura looks damn glam.
Yeah, because her shirt and trousers aren't the fucking same. And Chapel in the photo you've got there.
Well, that and her fucking sweet hair. Look how fucking sweet that hair is.
Yeah,
I love it. I think Chekhov looks great. Actually, I would. If I had to wear one of these, I would probably go with Chekhov's.
No, the only good uniform in this whole thing, and we'll be getting to these later, is the Admiral's uniform.
Yeah, that one's not as terrible. The shape is still the same as these, though. And they all have different weird necklines. There's so many There's so much variety in the necklines, which strikes me as odd. Why are there's 5 or 6 different necklines?
Yeah, what's really weird is that, so these are the farthest thing from uniform that you could get, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because there's so many variations. So, Ilya and Chekhov are wearing almost the same outfit, except she doesn't have a belt, and he does.
Well, and his thing hangs down longer, if you know what I mean. He's got to hide the goods.
Meanwhile, Decker's just showing you the goods.
Oh, God.
Got a target on that thing.
Well,
I think
he was hoping that the Star Trek film would capture the minds of the youths, you understand.
Oh.
No.
I remember, too.
Look, I'm sorry. He's a pedophile, okay? I can't help it. He just is.
One of the first things we shared on the Facebook years ago was an article about... What's really depressing is how much money they had for costuming in this film.
Oh, yeah.
These are the uniforms they came up with.
Well, they put some actual money into, like, the background people in crowd scenes that you see for a split second at a distance, and how they have great costumes that you don't really get to see. Meanwhile, we see so much of these fucking things. I couldn't tell you what color goes with each division, because they all just look like mud.
Yep. Well, it's more based on the badge, apparently, than the actual...
Oh, that's true, because we talked about the badges last week.
Yeah, these are just the
did I
biggest...
miss badge discussions? Is that what I missed?
You did.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ames.
It's okay. We had Liz.
It's the worst sartorial misfire in the whole franchise, which is saying something.
Let's flip that coin to the other side, though, and move on to the rest of the TOS movies, where they go super military.
I like it.
The pants are still the same.
I like the peplum look of the.
Peplum?
I feel like the one in the middle, who the fuck is that in the middle?
Valeris.
Oh, is that who that is? I feel like hers looks kind of peplumy.
I don't know what peplum means.
A peplum is like it's a woman's top style. It's usually kind of flared out a little bit at the bottom. Like, it comes in at the middle and then flares out a little at the sides. And I think in this case, it's actually just a product of the belts.
I think it's a problem. Yeah, I think it's the belt.
Well, it still makes me think of peplum, and I like it.
Yeah, because we're going to see, because they reuse these uniforms a little bit when we have some flashbacks in TNG. And when they're not wearing the belt, they just look wrong.
And they don't have the turtleneck underneath.
Yeah.
I'd say the biggest complaint I have about these uniforms is, even when you know the turtlenecks are different colors and that's what their division is indicating, I cannot tell what color is which, because they're all very kind of muted colors. It's like a very light green or a very light yellow or a grayish. I don't even know. I couldn't tell you looking at a crowd of people what color their turtlenecks are.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Cameron, isn't it?
Yeah.
I forgot Cameron was in that.
Captain Harriman, yeah.
Well, he looks great. Yeah, I like these uniforms.
Yeah, I love that they gave the women pants.
Yep.
Because yes.
Yeah, they got nice pants.
Uhura's finally not afraid that she's going to sneeze and slip a whole ass cheek out.
I like the, of the examples you have here, only the Uhura one has the vent open, but I always liked that
the
feature. The
action vent.
I actually like that they have two different lengths of pants, and that the women are actually, like, in this case, it looks like Uhura is the only one who is wearing properly long pants. Everybody else is wearing these pirate pajama pants.
Damora's are kind of long, too.
Yeah, but hers almost just look like they don't fit because they're neither short enough or long enough. They just kind of look like she's too tall for the pants they gave her.
Yeah, I also don't know how the Timelines folk do the illustrating, because sometimes they need to get a full-length shot based on a torso upshot.
Yeah, and I think, like, we only ever saw Kelsey Grammer, I think, from the waist up, so really, he could have been wearing jeans that day for all anyone knew.
He was.
We just had to, this is the artist's rendering of that manly physique.
Yeah.
So who is between Valeris and Tuvok here?
Chapel.
That's Chapel.
But it's Majel, but do we ever see Chapel in this outfit?
Yeah, during Star Trek IV, she's on Earth as part of the crisis response team.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I love that you know that just immediately. There wasn't even a pause to think. He was like, yeah, we fucking do. Right here, right now. It's amazing.
Yes.
I'm so impressed.
Good recall on that.
You guys are such nerds. I love it.
I'll buy it.
Yeah, I know these are Chris's favorite. They may, because I know next week we're going to finish our uniform discussion. For all I know, they'll make it to the very end as Chris's favorite. I'm not a fan of the material they use. It kind of looks like my grandmother's couch. When you get some close-ups.
I think, like, I don't know if this is true, but I feel like I once heard that because the budget for 2 was slashed kind of dramatically, it was like leftover shit from 1. And, like, part of the reason they went with burgundy was because it was the one color they could get all the cloth to dye the same or something.
Oh,
Don't know if that's true.
I do love the color.
Huge urban legend.
That and because they raided your grandmother's couch.
That's what happened to that couch. Yep. No, I do love the color. The color is phenomenal. I have seen somewhere when I was looking through uniform stuff, the same uniforms, but instead of everyone in burgundy and the collar being different, it was the the jackets in the different uniform, in the different department colors.
I saw that once too. Yeah, someone photoshopped it. It looked pretty good.
Sounds great.
I'd have to see it to like believe it, kind of a thing, because I don't know how much I would like it if I actually saw it. But that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Moving on. We're going to move on to the first uniforms we see in the Next Generation from seasons 1 and 2.
The second worst
Who's that? Lee
uniforms ever.
Pace? Who the fuck is that?
Where?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, that's that's
the Measure of a Man.
Yeah,
or whatever?
Maddox. Thank you. Yep,
Maddox.
Measure of a Man. God, I hate these
Is
so
that
much.
Data?
No, that's when Q was posing as Data.
Okay, I was gonna say, that doesn't look like Data. It looks like Q. So I'm glad that you. Thank you.
Yeah, I tried to like pick a number of people to see the whole color scheme, and also to see both men and women in the uniforms.
And our man in the scant.
And scant. Extra points for scant.
Man.
I will say,
That poor guy.
I like Pulaski's outfit. I have nothing against the scant. The jumpsuits were trash.
Yeah.
Oh,
jumpsuits
yeah.
are really bad.
They looked like they were going to yoga class or something.
Yeah, they're fucking abysmal.
They were going to yoga class where they were going to talk about boys and whether or not their bosoms felt firm.
Yeah,
I kind of like the cut of the pant leg at the very bottom, though.
Yeah.
How it goes around the boot.
Don't they retain that in the next version, or I can't remember.
We'll find out in a minute.
Does she
The next
actually
version's a
have?
two-piece.
Do they actually have like section specific piping around?
No,
the
that's
slits?
just an effect.
Oh,
of the
because it
drawing.
looks great, doesn't it?
That
I
would
actually
be
really
cool,
like
but no,
that.
it's
If they
just-
really had that, if Yar really had that yellow, if Picard really had that red,
No, that would, but no,
that would've
it's
looked
just
sick.
In the reality, it was just black. It's just
it's
the
too bad
artist
because I love it. I really like
rendering.
it.
Yeah, what
Oh.
I don't have here, and what you can see on like Deanna in the pilot, is the skirt version, which is very little.
Yeah.
It's very short skirt with
And the
no
Also,
idea
pants.
not pictured her horrible purple jumpsuit.
The idea of the scant is certainly a good idea.
Is it? Like, what is the idea of the scant?
Just that people
Free
can wear
balling.
what they want in the future.
But who would want to wear that is the
That
question.
guy.
A guy
I
with
would.
confidence in his thighs.
I guess
calves.
so.
He's got good thighs, dude. If I had those thighs, I'd rock that fucker.
You know,
Yeah,
it's-
and honestly, because the uniforms are all one piece, and I know like in on set, it made everyone like scrunch up because the uniforms are constantly trying to get them to curl into a ball.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
isn't that the origin of the Picard maneuver too? Is that whenever he'd sit down, it would be all bunched up, so he'd have to pull down on it.
I
Yeah,
don't know, yeah, I
just
think-
saying, guys. This is the only person whose balls are comfortable right now is Scantman. Everybody else is not happy. So
Maybe it's not maybe it's just the combination of the black boots and then the bare legs, and then
Oh, that is a little silly.
it's yeah.
Yeah,
Kinda
maybe they
whatever,
just
I
let
don't
him
know.
wear like loafers or something.
Sandals. After that, they decide
Vast improvement.
to let people's balls breathe when they go to season 3, and they introduce the normal looking 2-piece uniforms in all the
Freaks
colors we
with
like.
This goddamn trombone.
The colors.
Oh, is Data's little poker visor actually Starfleet issued?
Let's go with
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. And plus, the addition of the collars also just makes it look more professional.
Yeah, the color's nice.
It does look like they have the little cut for the shoes still.
Yep.
Still not.
Yeah, and I like
piped.
that.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah, no, vast improvement over the season 1 and 2 ones. I still think the little like Delta style arrowhead whatever on the shirt is kind of over-egging the pudding, but I get it. They couldn't
I
just
see.
have it end as like a
The-
straight line because that'd be kind of weird. Maybe
The black color blocking thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that
don't
gal
hate it.
in the middle is the real NASA astronaut that was in the show, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's fucking cool.
I want to
I like
say Mae Jemison?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I have no idea what her name is, so I take your word for it. But either
Our
way,
little
fucking badass.
Part Romulan kid from the Drumhead.
Mm-hmm, Tarsus.
Is
Because
that-
he's the only male in timelines wearing the blue.
Oh. And who's that? Who is that?
Geordie's mom.
Between-
Jordan's
Oh,
mom,
okay.
yeah.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't 100%.
But yeah,
I
everyone
don't
Remember
looks
that we
good
meet
though.
Geordie's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good. I mean, the fit is good on these.
I like that
on
it's
these
a
uniforms.
shirt and not a jumpsuit.
Yeah, I misremembered them as jumpsuits when I wrote my initial piece on them. Because especially, I mean, because back in the day, you know, it looked like it. It is more obvious with the remasters and stuff that, oh no, it's a jacket and slacks.
Tucked in.
Yeah.
They look great.
Yeah, I like it. We see a variant, a very subtle variant in Yesterday's Enterprise. Wow.
Enterprise.
Enterprise.
Yentle Day's Enterprise. That's where Matchmaker shows up.
Matchmaker.
Yikes. In the kind of pseudo universe thing that's created in our alt thing, in which we see, oh god, what are they called? Not Mandalorian collars. Mandarin collars, which I think are really striking. And the other difference that you see is now they have little black ends of their sleeves, which they didn't have
look
before.
Quite nice.
I do like that, yeah.
And belts.
Cool,
I'm always
the belts. Yeah,
I'm always into a belt.
Same. Love a belt.
Very we've not gone full mirror universe, but we've gone a bit dark, so let's add mirror universe-esque elements.
Yeah, that was a good way to do it. I liked it.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, the Klingons could show up at any time. You need a gun on your belt.
You'd think people would be wearing pockets, though.
Nah.
Sweet belts.
Moving forward, I also have just a couple of instances we see in TNG of those flashbacks where you see the old uniform.
And it's like, you've ruined it by getting rid of the belt and the turtleneck. That's
without the belt, it looks very wrong.
It just looks like they forgot to finish getting dressed.
It looks like a smock.
I also don't think. I think it doesn't look as good without the turtleneck either.
Yeah,
I think
that's what I mean. You need both.
Yeah,
you need both, or it just looks wrong.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Let's see. We switch things up. When do we first see the uniforms that we see in Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Generations? Does it start in DS9?
It shows up in DS9, yeah.
Okay.
Because that would have been before Generation.
Got it.
What is with Data's face in this picture?
That's when he's doing Mr. Tricorder.
Mr. Tricorder.
I don't remember.
I like that Bashir is prisoner of the Dominion Bashir.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's best Bashir. So we see that we're seeing these ones obviously a lot right now because we're in the middle of watching Voyager. Mm-hmm. The kind of really thin cotton turtlenecks underneath start to stand out to me more and more because I can never tell what color they are.
Yeah, they're either gray or lavender gray.
Like a bluey gray.
Yeah, like a
slate.
Kind of a lavender blue.
Yeah.
Every time I notice it, it distracts me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like the color on top. The color on top is pretty good.
Color on top is good.
Yeah.
I think, it takes away the weird thing that Chris was mentioning about the cut into the into the color patch. I like how you get the B'Elanna jacket version here.
I like that
I'm pretty
version.
sure was a thing to hide Roxanne
Dawson's pregnancy. Yeah. And it doesn't do a great job in some episodes from what I recall.
No, but
no, do we ever see the open jacket on anybody? Because I feel like
I think it's
having an open thing.
It's also a different top. It's not just the same top.
Oh,
unzipped.
okay.
It's an actual jacket.
Yeah, I think it's actually maybe even a little longer.
But well, I'm always pro jackets because I feel like
jackets.
You want options, yeah.
They don't have enough jackets in Star Trek.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that.
I know we're not doing them, but they had that sweet away team jacket in Star Trek 2. Which is never seen ever again.
The big puffy coat.
Yeah.
With a million pockets, by the fucking way.
So many!
Such pocket! So here's this is some of your favorite comm badge that we see on these uniforms. Yeah. We talked about them last week.
Yep.
It's a good look. I like it.
Yeah.
In every series of Star Trek, so in TNG, Voyager, and eventually in Enterprise, they have a female character that they dress in spandex.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's purely for sex appeal. And then there's always an instance when a couple of episodes, and I think in Voyager, maybe only one episode where they dress Seven of Nine in an actual uniform.
And she looks fucking great.
And they always look fucking great.
Yep. It's when they switch Troy over to the actual uniform. You're like, fucking yes!
Great.
Yeah.
There's one episode where T'Pol has to wear a uniform, and she looks fucking great.
Yeah, and then we let Kira wear a uniform at the end of DS9.
And she looks fucking great, but she looks great in her normal uniform too. But the point is, God damn it, Star Trek. Stop dressing
No, let
your
goddamn
women
it,
in
Rick,
spandex. Yeah,
goddamn it, Rick Berman.
You know, just dress them like the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
And they'll still look great and they'll still be sexy, and you don't need spandex to make a woman sexy.
No. In fact, I mean, I leave something to the imagination. Ugh.
All right. Later in Deep Space Nine, and I think what did we learn that we first see these uniforms in First Contact?
Yeah, I think you said they waited for them to premiere in the movie before switching them over into DS9, which is why they change uniforms like mid-season.
Right. Yes, that's right. Because they switch over in the middle of the season, and someone had to make a reference to it. And the jackets that we see, these are the jackets with the kind of lilac on top, and and then the colors are the undershirt underneath. The material looks like a quilted blanket.
Mm.
I'm not a big fan of the material. They seem way bulkier too.
When I was a kid, I was really into these, but over the years, I've like, I want
really
more color.
Hot.
Yeah,
They do look kind of hot.
yeah.
And that's not just because we were looking at Jadzia. Ha-cha-cha.
Ah.
Although she does look great. I do also think the fact that the department colors that we see are the little turtleneck and also the little stripe on the sleeve that you see, which I never noticed until I was looking into it for our discussion today. Which means that the jackets all have to coordinate now because they made one subtle difference on the jackets.
Yeah, that's true.
But otherwise, if you're calling somebody and they're you're seeing them from behind and say Jadzia's got her hair down, you would not be able to see what department she is because you can't see the color of that turtleneck.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely have come around, just the more color, the better on a uniform.
Yeah. I mean, same time, though, you really need the division colors, doesn't really ever matter.
No,
It's
but just visually, it's more appealing.
Yeah, but it's not in universe, it's not like somebody's, excuse me, ma'am, could I have you help me with this engineering task? Do you see the color of this collar? I'm science. Get the fuck out of here, asshole.
Well, never mind the fact that yellow covers 18 fucking departments.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, look at O'Brien playing darts.
Darts.
Oh, gross. Look at Ezri Dax existing.
Jesus. Jesus.
Wow.
I really hate
Hostility.
Ezri. I just really don't like Ezri. She didn't bring anything to the show
she's
that I was
about to
interested
shoot
in.
somebody through a wall, but
She is, yeah.
Yeah,
She
when did we
does.
ever see her being that assertive and cool in the show? Literally never.
I mean, she literally did that with that gun in the show. So.
When? Oh yeah, but that episode was so dumb.
Yeah, it was a terrible episode.
That episode was fucking stupid.
Yeah. Poor Ezri. They really rushed
think
jobbed the thing.
And it's
They
not
did.
her fault. I mean, she
No.
could have been fine,
No, and the actress isn't.
but she should have just
terrible,
been
it's
somebody else.
they
You should
didn't know
have just
how to
made her
write it.
anyone else.
Anyway, we're here to talk about uniforms. And
Yes,
honestly, Ezri looks
Dax
cute
looks
in her
cute
uniform.
as shit. Yeah, I was just gonna say she looks hot. I mean, I hate her, but she looks hot. And Kira always looks hot.
All right, so I'm not going to spoil, but I did want to show the couple of alternate uniforms we see in
Whoa.
Voyager. This is an episode called Living Witness. I'll not spoil it for Caitlin, but let's just say Voyager gets a little evil.
Mm.
And
But it's-
Do we have a mirror episode in Voyager?
I'm not going to spoil it.
No spoilers.
It's not really a
But-
spoiler. It's a yes or no
Well,
question.
no.
So-
No, we don't, but...
Oh,
So-
weird. Okay,
they
it is a
have-
spoiler then, I guess. Kinda.
So they have gloves, and they replace the undershirt turtlenecks with black turtlenecks.
Holy shit, is
Yeah.
that supposed to be Chakotay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's got
Whoa.
way more tats.
He looks creepy. The fucking EMH looks creepy. I
Yeah,
can't
this is,
wait. Oh my
This is
god.
a fun episode.
When is
I
that?
can't wait for
How
this
long do
one.
I have to
That's
wait?
I
Actually,
think
this
that's
should
a
be
ways
spoilers, but this should be EMA.
Mm.
Ooh.
Emergency medical asshole.
Ass kicker.
I will say, though, it does kind of make you wish that the real shirts had maybe been black.
Well, I think it just they look like badasses with the black undershirts.
It also just,
Yeah.
it's... The lavender is kind of weird the more you look at it.
Where's
like-
the lavender?
In the
On their
actual
normal
uniforms.
Oh.
The undershirts.
It does look a little strange without the comm badge, breaking it up a little. But that's 'cause
Well,
I'm
you'll
just
see
looking
you'll
at
see why that is in the episode.
Yeah, I don't remember the specifics. It's been a long time.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun.
Everybody
We're gonna see these uniforms. It'll be a good day.
Yeah.
But I'll not spoil anything else, so we'll just be teased, and we'll see this soon. The other alternate uniform that I wanted to show that we see briefly in Voyager is from one of my favorite episodes, Relativity, which also featured one of our least favorite comm badges.
And I don't like these uniforms either. Colors are way too muted.
They're very muted.
The quilted shoulders make me think of Romulans.
I feel like they look like they must be like Section 30 whatever.
Kinda.
Again, no spoilers, but...
That's just
incidentally, it's also the episode where 7 of 9 gets to wear a real uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
It's a good day. Good day for everybody.
I actually really like the quilted shoulder.
This is a very intentional. It's an intentional quilted shoulder, so I can kind of understand it.
Mm.
But yeah, the color, the shape of where the colored area is a little strange. It seems like they did a little bit of over designing.
Definitely.
This kind of weird, like, bar right across the chest strikes me as odd.
Yeah.
And again, I know we don't care for these comm badges because they have such an odd shape.
Yeah, they actually kind of, I mean, maybe I'm misremembering them, but I just feel like they remind me of the badges from the TNG porn parody.
To rewatch that.
I didn't think of that last week, but I did just now.
Cool. Well, we're going to come into this episode. I think it's season 5 or 6, so it's going to be a little while.
Oh, okay.
But again, be teased.
I am. I feel very teased.
These we've seen.
Yeah, these are episodes that we see, like, a kind of alternate future in All Good Things, in The Visitor, and in the Voyager episode, Endgame, which we haven't hit yet, obviously. But we see kind of this it looks almost like a wraparound shirt.
Yeah.
This looks like that trash that they made Patrick wear. Everybody's got bitch tits.
But with actual pants.
Yeah, it's weird. It's sort of like, it's got similarities with the...
With the Relativity? No, with the, I just showed it. It was Living Witness. Nope. Oh, I guess it was Relativity.
Yeah, no, but I was actually going to say it's got some
it's
similarities.
The bar across the tits.
With the, it's got the bar, but it's also got like that, I don't know what it's called, like the double-breasted thing going on.
Like in Twalk?
Yeah.
That kind of off to the side.
The flappy bit, the off-center thing going.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot more color, which I appreciate.
Yeah, the color's good. The pips are no longer on the collar. The pips are kind of over your right tit.
Mm-hmm.
Above this bar.
Which is nice and visible in a visible spot.
That's true. Yeah. You don't have to search. You don't have to, like, grope someone to find their rank. It's my favorite comm badge.
Mm-hmm. Good comm badge.
Oh, it is a nice comm badge, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems less of a Starfleet duty uniform, and it seems more casual somehow to me. Yeah. It seems like a very it looks like a light flouncy fabric, even though I can't tell by these images, obviously. But it just looks comfy.
I feel like
in ways the other ones don't.
I feel like when we see them in the shows, I feel like they do look a little more like
comfy.
No, I was gonna say a little more like
informal.
Formal, I was gonna say.
Oh, formal.
I feel like the material does look a little stiffer than the drawings make it look, but I might be misremembering. It's been a while.
Is anyone else? Julian's face is like two very clearly different shades of color. Yeah.
Yeah, they fucked that up somehow.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
It's terrible.
I think because he's older Julian in this instance, because this is the one we would have seen in The Visitor.
He's at least 32, 33 in this.
Oh yeah, fucking that. You're right. Those are clear signs of age. How silly of me not to have known. As a 35-year-old woman, half of my face is also the wrong color.
Moving on. Okay, we're going to jump back to Enterprise, where they're wearing basically flight suits, which is incredibly appropriate.
They look like Buck Rogers knockoffs. What the fuck is going on?
They're not the most attractive things, but
look at all those pockets. Holy
so
shit.
many.
I know.
Jesus.
I am so far. And I know next week we're going to say which is our favorites and least favorites. But so far, these are actually at my top because of the number of pockets.
There are a lot of pockets.
But I am a girl who loves pockets.
I also love pockets.
They're they're not, again, like the prettiest, but they're super functional. They get to this idea of like, it's kind of early days. They're trying to look a little more like flight suity NASA, rough and tumble, sort of like. So it
the
makes
gradual
sense
progression.
Who's
yeah,
the
it makes
two hot
sense.
people in the middle? I like them. They're attractive.
That's to Paul and Mayweather.
What's to Paul? Who's she?
She's a Vulcan.
Is a Vulcan in the
She
not normally in a uniform.
Normally wears spandex.
Yep, because Rick Berman's a pervert.
Or nothing. Often nothing.
True. And that, of course, is Eminem on the far right for some reason.
What?
The guy on the right.
Eminem.
This is Kelby.
He does kind of look like Eminem.
Yeah, whoever that is, he is not a series regular because I do not recognize him.
Yeah, there apparently aren't a ton of actual characters in Enterprise or something, because it was very hard finding a number of people wearing the uniform, which is why you see
two Hoshis.
Two Hoshis.
You couldn't find a good screen cap of Seth MacFarlane?
Yeah, or
they don't,
or Frakes.
Wait, Seth MacFarlane was in the show?
He cameos a couple times as an engineer.
What a nerd! I love that.
But yeah, I think the idea of like half NASA, half Star Trek is a good idea.
Yeah, it makes sense thematically.
We see that the colors have already been established, which is smart.
Yep.
And they're somewhere where you can see them and not have to search for them.
And they're TOS colors too, which is a continuity bit.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The pips are on the chest again, pretty visible. And so many pockets.
And there's zip pockets too.
Oh, are these zip away pant legs too?
Yeah.
If they are, they never use them that way in the show, but yes.
Well, I'm into that. I'm into, like, I feel like, and that's what maybe where I fall on are these actual uniforms, is when you're in an organization like Starfleet, your uniforms should first be functional. And so many of them just look like clothes.
These are very functional.
Yes. Points.
It looks like, I think I said in my initial piece that I wrote years ago, it looks like any of them could be called on at any minute to help fix something. Mm-hmm. And you end up covered in just oil and shit.
Yeah, because it's early days and everything is constantly broken. It makes sense. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to actually cut off there for this week, and we're going to cover Kelvin's and New Trek next week.
Yeah, it's a good little collection.
And I see
as always, you did a wonderful job with the visuals, Ames. You're fantastic at this stuff. Yeah,
I see. Also in TWOC we have a skirt variant, which
that's right.
I didn't have a character for.
I think does Uhura wear it in 5? I can't remember. She
wears it at some point.
Yeah.
It might even be on this card where I've cut off the
3?
image.
Does she maybe wear it in 3 when she's working transporters?
Oh, maybe. She definitely wears it at some point.
Mm.
Yeah, unclear just based on looking at this, but yeah, there's a skirt variant. So we're going to talk more next week about the rest. It'll be a little more difficult because obviously the Kelvins aren't in timeline, so I'm going to have to fish for a lot of screen grabs of things.
There's so fucking many.
And Discovery and Picard and whatever else were also current. The uniforms change every fucking week, so I'm going to have a moment and figure that out. We're going to talk about that next week, but definitely do come back for that. It'll be a good time. I'll complain about pockets even more.
Woo!
This week, if you wanted to check out any of these images and you haven't checked out the blog yet, like I told you to do at the top, do it now. Holy shit. Head over to Tumblr/SSHB podcast, or just go over to sshbpodcast.com. You'll be able to go to our blog. All these images are up there, and you can see just how few fucking pockets there are. You can also listen to all what number was this? 205,000 more?
243?
Episodes of our podcast over on the SoundCloud, or download or stream from whatever your favorite podcasting area is. You can friend us on Facebook and Twitter, do all the things, and hang out with us and chat with us about all these topics. Next week we're talking more Voyager. Holy crap. See more of these Voyager uniforms we've been talking about in episodes Non Sequitur and Twisted. Should be a good week. Now there's a cat involved. God damn it. He was quiet all episode long. Yeah, I think that's it for me. Definitely don't reach your Elogium, because that would be a mistake. Yeah. This has been Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
This has been Jake.
And this is currently Chris.
Add more pockets.